Hey, if you didn't get the memo, I'm here to tell you, I'm still hearing iPhones are being sold. Used iPhones with TikTok on them are being sold for some a nice little chunk of change. That's you know what I'm saying. So if you ain't heard, check it out. That's what I'm hearing. You know what I mean? That's just trying to do I've been tearing my house up trying to find one, so I can sell it, bro. I'm thinking about selling my own. Be honest with you. But anyway, man, y'all know how this goes. Question everything. You should. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's get to it.
Well, iPhones with TikTok still installed are being listed on eBay for upwards of $10,000. Although TikTok service came back in the U.S., the app is currently restricted from further downloads in the App Store. An iPhone 14 Pro Max with the app installed sold for $2,500 on eBay, with others also being sold near those prices. TikTok is estimated to have some 170 million users in the U.S., with a third of U.S. adults using the app. Be sure to download Fox Local for live stream.
Y'all hear those numbers, right? Y'all hear those numbers, right? I'm pretty sure anybody can use that money. I don't care how much money you got. See, I'm convinced, like, a lot of y'all don't have survival skills, bro. Because no way in the world I see that and I'm going to walk up to it and then stick my face up in it and just see how. No, I'm not doing that, fam. That's the reason why you don't make it to the end of horror movies right there. That doing stuff like that. No, I'm not. No, something ain't right here. And I clearly can tell it's time for me to go the other way.
The prices of eggs are extremely scary. This is not cool.
No, thank you. I don't need that in my life. That's luxury stuff, bro. Nah. you can keep that Bentley, because that's what that egg. If we was talking about cars, that's a Bentley, huh? You can keep it. I can't afford that right there, man. Point me to the Honda Civics of eggs. See if y'all got some of those in the back.
It was wild that I didn't know how close my own wife was to the Clintons.
That you were married to her.
And I was married to her.
How close was she to the Clintons?
I mean, cell phone away, or hey, tell Ye to say this away, or hey, go out and use your platform to push the vaccine away.
Clinton flew to his island 26 times. He flew with Epstein. Well, I don't know if he flew to his island, but he flew on Epstein's jet 26 different times. He knew so much.
It was wild.
It's crazy. It's crazy how all of that talk kind of died down when it came to Epstein. Can y'all believe that? You know what I mean? At one point in time, it was the biggest story and it was about to be exposed. People was about to be exposed left and right. Then silence. Nobody knows nothing. It's a thing of the past. You know? You'll start to even question, did it really happen?
Snatched a man's phone while he sat at a busy Midtown Atlanta stoplight and ultimately took his car. Police confirmed this happened yesterday just before 6 p.m. at the 10th and Techwood intersection. Fox 5's Eric Perry has been on the story all day. Eric is live with the latest. What happened?
Yeah, Christine, so it seems like the boys that sell water might have gotten themselves into yet another slick and slippery situation. Police say the driver had held out his phone, and that's when they snatched it away. He got out to get it, and then they hopped in his car and drove off.
Visiting my mom sitting at the kitchen table. I just heard this loud noise.
We're not showing this woman's face as the people responsible for crashing this white Range Rover into her front yard in southwest Atlanta, they're still on the run. The story starts nearly 4.5 miles away in the Midtown Atlanta area after Atlanta police say a driver was stopped at this busy intersection of 10th Street and Techwood Avenue when he was approached by several people selling water. When he rolled down his window to donate, police say they snatched his phone, prompting him to get out. The already slippery situation became even more slick as one of the suspects hopped in the Range Rover and took off.
If there's no other takeaway, please be wary.
This woman and her mom heard the SUV crash into the mailbox and a pole and raced out.
We ran to the car, and there was a neighbor walking down the street, and he got to the car before I did, and he looked in and said, but there's no one in here.
The woman believes they may have placed the car in neutral and jumped out. Thursday, pieces of the white vehicle and precious mailbox could be seen scattered about. The mailbox is a special memory for this long-time Atlanta family.
Thank God that it was here. There is damage. My mom's mailbox was built by her late husband over 60 years ago, and it's a little sentimental, but we're going to get it rebuilt.
Yeah, back out here alive. As of right now, police have not released anything about the boys, teens, or even young adults responsible for this. If you know anything, come forward. You can remain anonymous. In Midtown Atlanta, I'm Eric Perry, Fox 5 News.
All right, Eric, thanks so much.
Listen, first of all, it's 20-something degrees out there. What are you stopping to get water for? I get it. They tug at your heartstrings, but that's how they get you, bro. Do not stop for anything. Atlanta 101. Do not stop. Water, it don't matter what it is. Don't just keep going. That's how you survive them situations, bro. They tug at your heartstrings. You think they innocent, and then boom, they got you. Or boom, they taking your phone. Or boom, I've heard situations to where somebody was cash apping them some money, and they was entering their cash app and ended up sending more money to them. Like, it's been some crazy horror stories, man. You know what I mean? So, bottom line, don't stop.
Sometimes when you wake up, you have a random song stuck in your head.
Oh, yeah.
And you know why? It's because your brain may have picked up like a frequency from a radio signal from somewhere else. Because you know how like a radio, if you have it beside you, it can hear music and it can play music. Maybe you can't if you're not tuned in on the right frequency. But what if while you sleep, somehow you're able to connect to that frequency and hear things that you couldn't. Now back this, right? Let's take it to a next level. Satellites are a thing.
Yeah.
And to see things on a TV through a satellite is a thing. Would it be so crazy that eventually there's a satellite that can put images into our head?
Oh, that's kind of bro.
And what if, like right now, everything you see right now is an image that's being played in your head?
Yo.
Because we're just connected to something, and we're seeing the world from a different light, a filter or an image that's being transmitted to our brains. Sometimes when you wake,
that goes back to what? Simulation theory, right? Simulation. What I'm seeing in my simulation, you might not be seeing in your simulation, right? The image that's being beamed down to me and I'm seeing, you might not be witnessing. You're seeing something totally different. That's why maybe some of us can see things happen in the sky that other ones can't see. Or some of us can see paranormal beings and some can't. That's not in their simulation right now. He makes a good point with that, bro. Nice. I like that theory.
They found it in a cave in South America. Look at that. Look just like the movie Alien, dog. Identical. Ain't that a tell you Hollywood, tell you everything you need to know. Y'all just think it's entertainment and it's just a movie, dog. How many times you gonna see some in the movie and then it come out that it's in real life, that it really happened, dog? Same as the Alien movie. Don't believe me? Look at it. Look at the head, dog. Look at the head. And you wonder where they got this image from. Because that exists. Yes. And that ain't regular degular. That's different. And that's why I be telling y'all pay attention to these movies. That's why I watch them. It's a message in all of them. They telling you what the f is really happening and what's going on under the disguise of entertainment. Hollywood. Look, dog. Look at the head of that and look at this. Things to make you go, Same.
Yeah, he right. He right. He right. First thing came to my mind was Predator. Maybe not Predator, then Alien. If not Alien, Jeepers Creepers. And I really don't want him coming back. He don't stop. Yeah, no, I'm cool. I'm cool on this.
All right, y'all. As you can see, we're up in North Central Florida. Look at the sky. This looks crazy. But that's not what I wanted to point out. I don't know if y'all can tell, but the fog/mist is back. I don't know if you guys can see. It's not as thick, but look. You can clearly see there's a mist in the background or a fog. And the atmosphere just dropped. But look at that, man. That's crazy. The sky was completely gray. There was no sun at all today. And here we go. Here's the sirens. Sirens all day. But look at that. It's like the fog is like back. Look at that. The fog is back. That fog mist is back. Whoa. I've been hearing people in South Florida saying it's here too. So, I don't know, man. It's here, y'all. Something in the mist.
I'm about to tell you some things that's probably going to ruin your childhood. If you've been following my page, you know that the story of Cinderella, Snow White, and all the others are not what Disney made them out to be. Here are the real stories behind them. And this one about Cinderella is going to make you look at her a whole lot differently and make you question your childhood. So the Disney version of Cinderella has Cinderella being the victim, where she's bullied by her stepsisters and taken advantage of by her evil stepmother, and she's sent to work in the kitchen and to do all the more or less duties that they don't want to do and treated as a servant. But what they don't tell you is that little Cinderella there is actually a murderer. Yes, you heard me. Our sweet, loving Cinderella actually got herself into this fine mess. See, in the first version, Cinderella here actually murders her first governess. She kills her by locking her neck into a trunk. And the second governess, who of course manipulated her into doing it, becomes her evil stepmother. And that's where the whole bad blood between them started. She sends her off to the kitchen to work as one of the servants. Of course, Cinderella, knowing what she did and knowing that she's guilty of murder, can't say anything. She just has to put up with the abuse because the evil stepmother is holding that over her head. Now bear in mind, Cinderella is just 19 years old. She was around 16 when this happened. So as a teenager, it is not surprising that she was easily manipulated. I mean, adults get manipulated themselves all the time. We also should point out that all of Disney princesses are under the age of 20. In fact, Snow White was only 14. You don't want to know how old the prince was. So Cinderella's evil stepmother holds it over her head that she's a murderer, and Cinderella has to put up with doing the duties of the servant and keeping her mouth shut and just being abused constantly of fear of being turned over to authorities. So how was that for an eye-opening experience? Let me know if you guys want to hear more.
Listen, don't get me wrong. As a kid, for a kid, that's horrifying. As an adult, I'm hooked. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I wanted to go through several more of my childhood shows, movies, and different things like that. Like, am I wrong? Like, I don't know what it is about tying like true crime to Disney back in the day movies. It got me hooked, bro. Keep it going.
Family, you see this? This is a graveyard of bells. And this is how it looked like when they were removing them. and this is the Great Bell. We used to hear the church bells everywhere, but now they got silent. What a lot of people don't know is that there is a big influence of church bells on human health. Look, family. Look, family, it has long been known that the plague did not spread where church bells were regularly heard. You see, there is a whole science behind making a church bell. 90 degrees angles everywhere. Family, there are a lot of researches done regarding the bells. Look, bell ringing heals illness and depression, and the miracles begin. And according to the Russians, it even improves air quality. First, they tried to remove the noses and the mouths of the ancient civilization, and then they said it never existed. Look, great empires from around the world. With all the benefits of these church bells, why did they remove it? Link to more on my website. Link.
Now that I'm thinking about what happened to all of the, like, I know immediately a lot of people started thinking to their childhood and remember hearing those bells. Now you can, I can't even remember the last time I heard a church bell go off. That says a lot, man. He messed me up with that one.
There are more than 10,000 chemicals and additives allowed in food in the U.S., often in small amounts, but many have not been evaluated by the FDA in decades. The majority are safe, but some chemicals allowed here have been banned overseas after research has linked them to cancer and developmental or behavioral issues.
We need to put the F back into the Food and Drug Administration. When you look around the world and you see what other countries are doing to protect their consumers, we are far behind.
Christina Ochoa says the FDA needs to do more.
We're trusting them, and this is the food that is feeding our future. And I want them to be held to a higher standard.
Now, in response, the FDA tells us their scientists keep up to date on food safety research, but it says it's also the responsibility of the food industry to make sure the substances they use are safe.
They changed the frequency. The day that TikTok was shut down for the half a day, they completely changed the frequency all over the world. The energy that we all had in one unison together all across the world, they immediately changed the frequency. That's why when you guys get back on TikTok, you don't see the same things. You aren't hearing the same things that are being talked about. And yes, I know you guys did see the pop-up when you got back on TikTok asking you to tag your Facebook and all that stuff inside of it. I don't know what type of server that we're on now, but this isn't the server that me and you grew up on TikTok. This is a totally different frequency that we're on right now. The ability to connect with others all around the world. TikTok is a place where I can instantly go live and people from Pakistan all over the world can see me. We can get the truth and share the truths about each other that our governments have always lied to us about. Yes, they have changed the frequency on TikTok. They changed.
Yeah, it was a lot of people worried before they shut it down, and I've been hearing a lot of people since they brought it back up say the same thing he's saying. So I think it's so important, man. I like towards the end before it was banned and before they took it down, I kept saying, man, this app is important. I've come to realize this app is important in keeping up with everything of what's going on because you're not getting the information.
Okay, so we just been sitting here thinking. The CIA decides to release documents saying that we have aliens, that we can remote view, that the aliens live underwater, and all of this stuff, right? And then we start seeing Dior bags and orbs and stuff like that in the sky, and then we're getting visited by 10-foot creatures in people's backyards and at the malls, right? But my question is, why would the CIA decide to tell us the truth? Like, I really feel like they lying to us. They want us to think what we've been thinking, but it's totally opposite. Like, I don't believe them at all.
So apparently the drones and the orbs are back in New Jersey, okay? But a lot of you probably don't know this because there's so many things going on right now that you're probably not even hearing news about it. Also in this world, we do know that we move on from things very quickly. I mean, like, do y'all remember the little egg that was in the sky that the snake was wrapped around? At least that's what it looked like. I don't know, who's a snake in the Bible? I don't know. It's very interesting to me. We know that the Donald said that he wants to know what it is as well, and that he's going to release information as soon as possible. So I guess we just wait, right? Also, let's not forget what's been going on with the moon as of late. I mean, like, it's been looking big in different places and smaller in different places. Some people are seeing 2 moons. Some people are seeing 2 suns. Like, they don't want to tell us what's going on. For what reason? You know what's going on. Let us in on something, right? And you, bro, like, you just make me mad for some reason. Something about you just really makes me mad.
Hey friends, can you help me conduct an experiment? Because I want to know if you've experienced a UAP and if you know what your blood type is. And if you do, please let me know in the comments right over here. And this is because there's this long-standing theory that says that people who are Rh negative might be aliens. Now, Rh negative basically means, like, if you're A positive, you're Rh positive. If you're A negative, you're Rh negative. And this was discovered by this guy named Alexander Wiener. The Rh factor, named after the rhesus monkey, is a protein present on the surface of red blood cells. Blood that lacks this protein is classified as rhesus negative or Rh negative. When an Rh negative woman is pregnant with an Rh positive baby, her body might see the fetus as a foreign threat and produce antibodies that attack it, leading to a condition called hemolytic disease. Fortunately, the Rhd immunoglobulin can prevent this reaction, ensuring the safety of both mother and baby. Now, this is definitely true. I'm Rh positive and my husband's Rh negative, as are both of my babies. And so when I was pregnant with both of them, I had to receive injections. I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 times during each pregnancy that would prevent my body from rejecting them. Which is...
So that makes me think, because if you ever had a miscarriage, you really don't get too much information. They give you some theory as to what went wrong, but really nothing in depth that I can remember. When we had our first, before our 2 sons, the first child that we were gonna have was a miscarriage. So hearing that makes me think, I wonder if that was the case and it had something to do with our blood types. That's interesting.
It's crazy. Like, how would humans have evolved this strange blood type that basically treated other humans as if we were genetically incompatible? Basically, without the help of science, my body would have treated my babies as if they were aliens. The gene that produces Rh negative is largely present in Caucasians, with the highest concentration found in a small region on the Iberian Peninsula between France and Spain, known as the Basque region. Here, straddling the Pyrenees Mountains, up to 40% of the population is Rh negative, and that is not the only distinguishing feature of the region. This is fascinating because overall, in the rest of the whole world, only 15% of humans are Rh negative, but yet right now, in current day, between 40 and 60% of people in the Basque region are Rh negative, suggesting that going back 4, 5, 6,000 years, at one point, all of them were. Those from the Basque are also the only people of Western Europe who continue to speak an indigenous Indo-European language, an isolated tongue not spoken anywhere else in Europe. But this language is not just isolated, it's completely unrelated to other European languages. That means there's no Roman roots, there's no Latin roots, there's no Greek roots. This language developed solely on its own. Granted, it is geographically isolated because it's in this mountain range, but nevertheless, that is fascinating. This civilization formed itself exclusive to all the rest of Western Europe. What else is fascinating is that people who are Rh negative tend to have distinct physical features, and they tend to be very charismatic. If you look up a list of celebrities that are Rh negative, it's almost always like the best of anybody in any given field. Like Marilyn Monroe, James Cameron, Jimi Hendrix, Scarlett Johansson, Angelina Jolie, almost all of the presidents, Jimmy Carter, Hillary and Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, even the one who's there right now, they are all Rh negative. Not to mention almost all of the English royalty, including William and Harry, they are all Rh negative also. They also tend to have these separate characteristics: a higher than average IQ, lower body temperature, higher blood pressure, red or reddish hair, an extra vertebrae, sensitive vision, and particular sensitivity to light, and elevated intuition. People also said that they could have lower blood pressure. I read mostly higher blood pressure. Larger than average head size and a tall forehead. Yep, that's me. Light colored hair, mostly red or reddish, and light colored eyes. I don't have those, obviously, but my daughter does, so they know that I have that gene. Sun and heat sensitivity, absolutely check for me. I get sunburned so easily. A tendency towards healing professions, nurse right here. Body scars that can't be explained, and frequent empathetic illness. An empathetic illness can basically mean that you are so overcome by the injustice of the world that it paralyzes you. Yeah, that happens to me. Here is a chart showing how much...
I ain't gonna lie, that described like a lot of women. Let's see, blood pressure issues, extra vertebrae or rib. I mean, they took our rib to start their lives. High IQ, heightened senses. I swear, like a lot of women have heightened senses. I'd be like, bro, how do you got like a bionic nose or something like that? The hair color, the eyes color, sun and heat sensitivity. Yes, if you live with a woman, bro, like sun and heat sensitivity, oh boy, like you living with a polar bear. Tendency towards health, body scars, all this kind of stuff. Like, ladies, they describe y'all a little bit. No, you know what I mean? No offense, though. No offense.
Yeah, that happens to me. Here is a chart showing how much of the population is any given blood type. I'm A negative, so I am only 2% of African Americans. Barack Obama is AB negative. That's only 0.3% of African Americans, and yet he is the only African American who has ever been president. Guys, that's crazy. And I was watching an episode of Ancient Aliens that was talking about this, and one of the people who said that she has interviewed hundreds and thousands of people who claim that they've been abducted by aliens, she said anywhere between 30 and 50% of them were Rh negative. And remember, that's only 10 to 15% of our current population. So you're way more likely to be abducted by aliens if you're Rh negative. What? So again, please help me conduct this experiment. Have you seen an orb? Have you seen a UAP? Have you had an insane experience with anything otherworldly? And if you know what your blood type is, please let me know, even if it's positive, because I need a control group. And I just find this information fascinating. My orb was gone again last night. I miss him. I hope he's coming back. But if you like this video, give me a like, comment, and a follow.
In the meantime, we also got an update. There's a Florida man that we heard from police that was arrested for making threats against President Trump. Let's listen into that press conference that just got underway a few minutes ago.
Okay, I'm Chief Tony Araujo. You got the spelling, but I'll say it again, A-R-A-U-J-O. Chief of Police with the City of West Palm Beach. With me over my right shoulder, Deputy Chief of Department Shearer, Assistant Chief Musco, who oversees the CID, our Criminal Investigations Division. Assistant Chief Spatera runs operations. Some of the detectives involved, Detective Lieutenant DeVito, who oversees our Detective Bureau. Detective McDonald.
Detective Varielli. Detective Attieri.
There you go. I have them written down, but obviously I didn't bring my piece of paper up here with me. So I just want to start off by telling you I'm going to answer a few questions, what I might be able to answer after the information I'm about to give you. I'm done giving it to you. The victim in this case is the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. You'll see that in the probable cause affidavit once it becomes public record. I want to give you a series of the chain of the events of how this happened and how we arrived at probable cause. It'll be a quick snapshot. So, I want to announce the arrest of the suspect in this case. His name is Shannon Atkins. He's a male, 46 years of age, who resides in the city of West Palm Beach. The timeline: on January 19th, late, a tip was given to the FBI National Threat Operations Center. It was given to them by a gentleman that resides in Okeechobee, Florida. He reported that threats were posted on Facebook. They were violent, rhetoric, political views, in his opinion, aimed at the president. Very early on January 20th, our West Palm Beach detective that's assigned to the FBI task force began working the case, and he too found the disturbing post. Some of the posts were Lincoln, JFK, Reagan, Martin Luther King, and Trump. Atkins posted, unfortunately, one is still alive. He wrote something to that effect. He also wrote another saying, "Bullets, please. Jesus, save America." Another one he wrote, "I've been banned from X because I said I hope and pray someone kills him. We haven't had an assassination in years." That gives you a flavor of some of the posts that this gentleman posted. After probable cause was established, we began our surveillance using our CID, our Criminal Investigations Division. Some of these officers you see up here are detectives, and our TAC unit. Mr. Atkins has 2 residences in the city of West Palm Beach. Just before 7:30 p.m. on Friday night, Atkins was stopped near one of his homes. He was driving a white 2013 BMW. When we placed him in custody, subsequently we found 3 baggies containing suspect cocaine in his pocket. They did test positive. He was arrested without incident. While being interviewed later, he admitted writing the Facebook post that said he was joking. Folks, this is not a joke. Nothing of that sort is a joke. We notified the Secret Service. They're looking at this case, and they'll make a determination if federal charges are going to be in play. In today's climate, you really can't say things like this. We have incident after incident, example after example of when these threats become real. And we take these very seriously. I want to tell the general public that they are our partners, our eyes and ears. We encourage you to report anything suspicious to the FBI, Crime Stoppers, or the free Safe Watch app that we have. That information goes directly to our STIC, our intelligence center. You can remain anonymous. As I've said before at news conferences, let us decide whether the information is actionable. We'll determine if there's reasonableness to further an investigation. And in this instance, there was. Our detectives developed probable cause, and we made an arrest.
Listen, bro, I say it all the time. I don't care who you voted for. At the end of the day, that's a human being. That's a human life. Like, you should never get to that point to where you start saying, I don't care if you're playing or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's still a human. We've already seen certain things happen and take place already. Like, let's not do that. Let's not put yourself in a position, even if you feel like what he did wasn't wrong or whatever. Don't put yourself in a position to where they have to make that decision of whether or not they're going to decide what happens to you. What happens to you? Let's not do that. That's a human at the end of the day, bro. Let's be better. Let's be better. Again, learn how to disagree and move on. Agree to disagree and move on. Like, when you start adding in all the extras, and now you're playing with your life and your freedom, man. We don't need that.
Made an arrest. So with that, again, if you see something, say something. The charges, you have received copies of what the charges are. He was charged under state statute. They are felonies, or one of them, or both of them are felonies. And the state attorney's office was very helpful in working in this case with us, and so was the FBI and the Secret Service. And that's another point I want to make. Working in partnership with federal law enforcement, local law enforcement, it takes all of us to keep our community safe. And in this instance, the system worked. Working with our federal partners, the information given was seamless. We do have an agent, a police officer, a detective that works on the task force, as do many jurisdictions across the land, to include this region, this area, and it worked as it should. So did we avert something? You never know what you avert. You never know what you displace. I do know that we developed probable cause. We arrested Mr. Atkins, and he's going to have to answer the charges. So with that, I also want to compliment our CID division. These detectives worked tirelessly on this case, as they do every case. They did things professionally, timely, and they effected an arrest when they developed probable cause. So thank you, gentlemen, for the job well done, and also the detectives that are not here that sustained the case also out there by conducting the surveillance. So with that, I'll take a couple questions. No questions? Thank you very much for being here.
All right. That, of course, that is that press conference that we got there in West Palm Beach, Florida. You're taking a look at the mugshot of Shannon Atkins, who police are now saying is being charged with drug possession, as well as one count of written or electronic threats to kill, do bodily injury, or conduct a mass shooting or act of terrorism, which is a second-degree felony.